like, subscribe, comment, and let's get to it.
What's up, good people? So, corruption, I guess, is everywhere, right? Especially in boxing. So, the WBO has Dillian Whyte, and shout out to my dude Ego. You know, he's also a Californian, Oakland, Bay Area resident, so am I, East Oakland, California. Shout out to Ego, because he brought this to my attention. They got the WBO, and they got Dillian Whyte, the number 2 mandatory. And then the other one, they have Alexander Povetkin. And so one of the points that Ego was bringing up, which made all the sense in the world, right? And it just let you know that it's just so corrupt in boxing. They have Alexander Povetkin, number 1 for the WBO. Alexander Povetkin is fighting for a mandatory right now. So why didn't they allow Alexander Povetkin to also try to fulfill the WBO mandatory as well? So for the longest time, right, Eddie Slickworm Germ Hearn, I guess he probably put money in their pockets, right? So they continue to roll with the punches. Because remember, Anthony Joshua fought for the WBA, right? And the title fight was for Klitschko, but it wasn't supposed to be for the WBA. Klitschko had lost that. So I'm not understanding how he actually fought for that belt, right? Then, not only that, you got all of a sudden when Deontay Wilder decided that he was just going to fight, he was going to take the low ball offer, and then all of a sudden, they jumped in. Remember that, right? They jumped in and say, oh no, he got a mandatory to fulfill, right? And so now what they're saying is Dillian Whyte is the WBO mandatory. Well, pretty much they said Alexander Povetkin, but Alexander Povetkin is not fighting to fulfill or satisfy the WBO mandatory, right? Which that should have been. And the fact that he's not, it just showed you that Eddie Hearn is paying a lot of money for the corruption. He's controlling the heavyweight division, and he's controlling mandatories, and he controlling like basically the whole division in general, right? Because so conveniently, remember, if Anthony Wilder don't fight, Anthony Joshua, I'm sorry, I kept saying Anthony Wilder. Anthony Joshua doesn't fight Wilder. Oh, well, we're just gonna fight Dillian Whyte. We're just gonna fight Dillian Whyte. But he never stated that Dillian Whyte was basically going to possibly be a mandatory if Anthony Joshua beat Alexander Povetkin. He never said that. So all along, he already knew that Dillian Whyte was possibly going to fight Anthony Joshua because he already number 2 on the WBO list, right? As far as the mandatory goes. So we know that if Alexander Povetkin does not win, he automatically get bumped down. So what that makes Dillian Whyte, it means that he is going to basically be the mandatory for the belt, the WBO belt. And what have they been trying to do? They have been trying to make the Dillian Whyte and Anthony Joshua fight. And so the thing was where Eddie Hearn was trying to be so slick was he was saying, oh, well, Anthony Joshua have options. And so the options that he's talking about was, oh, well, maybe he'll fight Olander Usyk, or maybe he'll fight Dillian Whyte, or maybe he'll fight this person, right? He knew god dang well who this person was going to fight, who Anthony Joshua was going to fight. Remember, they have an 8-fight plan. Wilder wasn't in that plan. And then you remember when Anthony Joshua made the statement saying that, oh, I will fight Deontay Wilder in 2019 or 2020, right? So you already know they still going according to plan. but they're still trying to make it seem like Wilder is the one that does not want to fight. Wilder wants to fight, but being that he went through all that stuff and couldn't get the fight because they still made the fight with Alexander Povetkin, and somehow they tried to say that he was taking too long when they already stated that they were going to send it in that week, and that and basically they said that Anthony Joshua had to make a decision within 24 hours or he would have to vacate the belt, right? Vacate the belt. So my thing was this. It was 3 weeks later, and then all of a sudden they're saying that they wanted the Wilder fight, and well, it wasn't my fault. But then you had Barry Hearn come out basically saying if he can have some say in it, he's gonna wait 2 more years. Basically, they've been telling you all the things that they've been trying to do, planning to do, stall him out. We're gonna wait till the right time. The right time is when they feel like he's older and he's basically lost it, right? They don't want to fight Deontay Wilder in his prime. They don't want to deal with that. So what are they doing? They're continuing to make excuses. They're making more excuses, and they're lying. They're losing fans. Eddie Hearn, everything that he actually stated have basically been proved otherwise, because he's a very big liar. But my thing is this, man. Why is there corruption in boxing? I understand that Anthony Joshua is a so-called cash cow, but if he's everything that y'all say he is, you won't have to worry about losing to Wilder. You don't have to worry about that. So why are y'all stalling him out? Why are they making Wilder do things that no other champion that they faced had to deal with? They didn't make Charles Martin deal with it. They didn't make Klitschko deal with it. And they didn't make what's his name? Joseph Parker. They didn't make him go through all this stuff that they're putting Deontay Wilder through. And I'm saying, like, they believe that Deontay Wilder is going to knock Anthony Joshua out. I mean, that's the only logical explanation that I can come up with for why they're basically going with along with Eddie Hearn plans. So, and it's not just that. Now let's just talk about the WBC, right? With Sean Porter. Sean Porter just got the WBC, and before him and Danny Garcia had to fight, they gave him 2 mandatories. Where did they do that at? After you already told Errol Spence that he's basically going to get a shot at the title. So I'm trying to figure out why is there a 2 mandatory that this person will have to satisfy, which means that Errol Spence is not going to get a chance to get the WBC. Maybe because they want Keith Thurman to have it. They want them to fight again, and they want Keith Thurman to have that belt back because they feel like he probably will beat Sean Porter. And then Kenny Porter, Sean's Porter daddy, basically said that he was only going to fight once a year from this point forward. And my thing is, why wait till you get a belt to want to feel that way? Why get the belt and then basically hold it hostage? You don't want to see it undisputed. Everybody wants to see it undisputed. A fan wants to see undisputed. Kenny Porter doesn't understand the fact that the fans' rule is what the fans want to see. If the fans are not happy, guess what? Boxing continue to die. And so when you have this ducking season, Errol Spence have a thing called strap season, but they need to name something called duck season, because that's all they doing. Everybody is ducking because they afraid to lose to Errol Spence, and that's not the end all be all. You know what I'm saying? If you lose, okay, dust yourself off, pick yourself back up, and then get back to it. But don't sit there and duck. And you know that these fighters and these fans want to see the fights, specific fights. You know, the Floyd Mayweather effect is just killing everybody. Make people don't even want to have competition. It's like they wait for journeymen, people that just basically came from amateur backgrounds. That's who they want to fight. They don't want to fight nobody with experience or that has a 50-50 chance of winning. And based on the corruption in boxing, they don't care about seeing the fights, which it's like HBO. HBO, you know, are so corrupted and so biased. Now it's a possibility that they're going to get out of come out of business as far as the boxing aspect of it, because of all these things, the way they treated the fighters, you know, the way they handling the money and all that type of stuff. A lot of them are having these issues because they're corrupt. And then also people are not even into boxing that much as much as they used to be, because you got people that want to see certain people fight, and then it's too much politics that they don't never see the fight. And so now the sport is dying. You didn't have to do that with Tyson. You didn't have to do that with Evander Holyfield. These dudes fought the best. They fought each other with the Lennox Lewis and all them. It's like the scared era. Why? Because you're afraid that, you know, your career is going to take a hit. Danny Garcia basically played that card for so long. Now is the possibility that he might be irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? If he just stay active and stop acting like a coward and just fought, you know, people like Errol Spence that called him out and stopped showing the little cowardice side, he wouldn't have to worry about that. People would just want to see him. And then they think that they bigger than what they are, and they only had 640,000 viewerships. That's not a lot for two so-called superstars. So my thing is this, man. It's too much corruption in the boxing, too much governing bodies, too much, you know, favoritism, too much biasness, and I understand, you know, why. I understand why, because like I say, a Loma Chico can get, you know, a head start at everything, and then, you know, you got a person like Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence who have to wait, you know what I'm saying, today damn near dying to get the opportunity that they waiting for. But that's all I got for now. It's your boy Ken. Please tune in, like, subscribe, and share to the channel. And if you got anything that you would like me to talk about, discuss, man, please leave a comment down below in the comment section. That's all I got for now. I'm out.